We talked about it a little bit, but it's official now with the Bengals.
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
When did they announce this? Who announces big contracts on the weekend?
That was Jordan Schultz, Fox Sports NFL insider, announced it in the overnight hours on Sunday.
Oh, let me check to see.
And it was a story that we were talking about on Friday because we saw it coming. It was all reported that it was coming. Now it's official. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins have both been locked up long-term by the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase getting that 4-year, $161 million contract, $112 million guaranteed, the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Let's also remember that T. Higgins, his partner in crime, the number 2 wide receiver, is now the highest-paid number 2 wide receiver in NFL history. 4 years, $115, according to reports, the first 2 years fully guaranteed. Now, you guys talked about this on Friday. Hey, good for these guys, but the defense is still a problem. Here's another angle that we haven't really touched on yet. Joe Burrow, and this has been an ongoing thing now basically for about a year, has been saying to whoever would listen, I need my guys signed. I don't care what it costs. I'm going to restructure. You don't get good by letting good players leave the building. He went on every podcast, every radio show, every television show saying re-sign Jamar Chase, re-sign T. Higgins. Then in December, once it became clear, okay, Jamar Chase is going to get done, we'll see about T. Higgins. What does Chase do? Hey, T, fire your agent, sign with my agent, now we're a package deal. So it looks like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, Rob, something you've always talked about, flex their muscle in a big way to make sure everybody got paid in Cincinnati.
I've been saying that forever, that players, the way the system is set up, it works against them. And when you have a chance to flex your muscles a little bit, you should do it and not be giving people discounts. Oh, well, you play in Cincinnati, you shouldn't be. No. Mm-hmm. They're an NFL team. They get 1/32 of that gazillion-dollar TV deal that everybody else, that the Giants get and the Rams get and everybody else gets and all that other stuff. And if you're an NFL team, then you need to act accordingly and not ask me for a hometown discount. I'm shocked that Cincinnati did this, but, if you're Joe Burrow and you wanted your receivers, I'm not mad at you, but I don't know what you're going to do defensively. And in that division, how is that going to help you? It hurt you last year, and he knows better than anybody because he threw 9 touchdowns against Baltimore and lost both games.
No, it's when we first talked about this a couple of weeks ago, one of the things I said was it'll be interesting to see how serious they are and invested into Joe. And how do they want to keep Joe around and keep him happy? And obviously he's doing his best for them, and he's throwing a bunch of touchdowns because he'd been going out of his way, as Rob G said. He was mentioning it during the season, off season, so much so referencing other teams. He was like, look at the Eagles. The Eagles seem to sign everybody. They've seemed to work it out. And why can't we? Let's figure this thing out. He even offered to restructure his deal. Like, hey, if I got to move some things around, let's do it. So I was really interested to see how the Bengals would respond to the face of their franchise saying, help me, I want these guys. Now, did they cut their nose to spite their face with this in that you've got the weapons, but you also had the weapons last year, and it didn't bode well for you as far as the win-loss column. And so they let Hendricks – they got to figure out what they're going to do with Hendricks. There's a chance they could lose their best defensive player. The defense was already bad, as we know. Cost them so many games. Joe Burrow looked great. Joe Burrow should have been a legit MVP candidate, but he wasn't. Jamar Chase should have been a legit MVP candidate, but he wasn't as well because, they lost so many games. So they got to figure that side out of the ball if they're trying to get back to the Super Bowl and back to competing because one of their better defensive linemen retires. Again, they don't know what they're doing with Hendrickson. They lost another couple of players on defensive end. That's not sounding like improvement, and that's what it's going to take in their own division. You got to play Baltimore twice. You got to play Pittsburgh twice, depending on what they do. And obviously Cleveland being a divisional rival, I mean, they can give you some challenges as well. So just in your division alone is going to be difficult, let alone the entire AFC and whoever is going to be in the NFC side of their schedule. So, but they got the bag. My last point, they had a chance to take care of T. Higgins earlier, Rob. So they could have saved a few. But they chose to franchise him 2 years in a row and then ultimately get the deal done now. But they did have a chance to take care of this earlier so that they could have, obviously, if you did it 2 years ago, the money wouldn't have been what it is now. Maybe you could have had that money to get more resources on defensive end. But they waited, And so now here they are.
Yeah, wait. It only costs you more money. We talk about it all the time.
All the time in sports. You just got to bite the bullet sometimes.
We remember that with Dak Prescott.
Great.
I remember Chris and I talked about it. And there was talk about at that point 27-30. You remember that? It was like 27-30. Yep. They waited, and then they
balled out, and then
they had to pay him like 60 up front, and he was making like 50, and then he went up to 60.
Yeah.
And they could have saved some money. It's like you got to make a decision on somebody. If you're lukewarm on him, then don't sign him. But don't wait until he has a good year, and then it doesn't even make sense.
Why do they keep doing? They did that with Ezekiel Elliott years ago. Remember that? They did that with Zeke. Then they did that with CD this past summer and kind of jammed him up, waiting on him. Mike McCarthy kept him around when we all knew he was gone, right? And then they kind of jammed themselves up on coaches. But maybe that's the thing with Jerry Jones. He don't want to bring in a big time coach. But they hold on for a long time when either they know they're going to let somebody go or they know they're not going to re-sign somebody or they know they want to re-sign them. Yeah, I don't know. They're not breaking news. Don't know if you know the Cowboys aren't well run as far as the X's and O's and the personnel. Not necessarily the business of the brand. They've got that mastered. But the actual
Well, he doesn't have to do anything. That work does itself. Like they would give Jerry credit. The Cowboys have always been, way before he bought them.
You saying they didn't become America's team in the 90s?
No, they were always America's team when Roger Staubach was the quarterback, not when Jerry Jones. Now he just, of course, the time has happened where money has just gotten bigger and bigger. So of course it looks even better on his ledger. But what has he really done? He's taken the brand down, if you want to be honest about it. Think about that.
I'm not mad at that.
30 years, and you can't even get to a Super Bowl. And 30 years since you took
NFC Championship game.
Right.
Can't even get to now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that you couldn't even get there and lose a couple times.
Yeah, like that one is the mind-blowing one. Super Bowl is already bad enough. But they could argue, hey, we got 3 in the 90s. What you want? All right, fine, whatever. But the NFC Championship game, you're kind of stumbling on. You get a number 1 seed. All you got to do is win one game, and you're in there. Like the Lions didn't do this.
Can I say something?
On it. Yeah.
You see, I'm drinking iced tea, right?
Yeah.
I'm entering my 6th week without a Diet Coke and not even a flinch or urge. I haven't had one, even though there's no calories in it.
Yeah, but you just don't want the bubbly and carbonation and all that.
Carbonation for my and everybody used to complain. Rob drinks a big gulp every day, like on the YouTube when they watch the show.
Your Pure Leaf on matter of fact, hold that up again. Hold that up camera. Get that sponsorship.
Oh, yeah.
Don't my boy look good? Hold that up again. He look good with that. I'm just saying.
No, you know what happened last time Rob brought iced tea to the studio?
Well, no, I don't.
Iowa Sam threw it out.
That's right.
Iowa Sam's like, whose bag is this in the fridge? It's been here since Monday. And he took it out of the fridge and put it on the kitchen
he threw
counter.
someone's...
He took Rob's lunch bag
out of
the fridge.
I was like, what are you doing? Like,
I ain't even calling him Iowa Sam. He's just Sam at this point.
Samuel. He's just
Samuel.
I'm like, why is that bag bothering you? Whose bag is this?
Yeah,
I'm like, it's in the refrigerator.
No, you handled that nicely. I might have been home for a couple of days.
There was a tinge of racism.
Was it? I was going to say, based on what? Was the bag black?
That's right.
And by the way, you got 19 more minutes before the end of this hour. Anything else you want to flex on?
No.
I'm just saying. Anything else? Look at him, Rob G. I feel good. I look good.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, you did though. You said I look good, feel good, play good. You know what I mean? And hey, by the way.
No, but I was drinking 4 or 5.
No, I said
Fountain
next to you.
Diet Coke. I
said next to you.
Right, Rob G. I always had, every time I were on the phone or whatever, you can hear me going through getting a lawyer. What? Hold on, Rob G. Oh, I have a lawyer Diet Coke. All right. Well, what? Okay,
one thing I like, and y'all told me this beforehand, and now I'm witnessing is when you lock in, you're locked in.
All the way.
Yep. Let me just give you one bit of advice. Rob G, you'll feel me on this. At your age and what you're trying to do, don't have no kids. Okay? Make sure you don't have no kids out here in these streets. You might have one or two you don't know of right now.
I've thought
you
about
might get the.
I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah. You are?
A little bit.
Only reason why I say that, because right now, everything you've said so far has been, I didn't have anything to do this weekend, so I decided to do I didn't, I'm locked in. Oh, look at my refrigerator, guys. There's nothing in it. It's cute and funny. Rob G get kicked out the house if his wife knew he had the refrigerator looking like that. And it changes everything. Rob G's fighting for his life.
They got kids.
Daddy, I went Chick-fil-A. I went McDonald's. Rob G fighting for his life. Daddy, ooh, ice cream. I know how it is because I'm fighting for my life.
I know you are. I understand. All right, 877-99. Oh,
I'm
I don't know why
fighting
I'm
for
doing
my
that.
life.